Chuck McDonald has just committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. What's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up for this breaking video update. McDonald, who committed to Alabama today, is a class of 2025 cornerback out of Mater Dei in Santa Ana, California. He's a 4-star. He's an elite prospect who canceled visits to USC, Oregon, and Georgia before committing to Coach Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is a monumental pickup. And did the name Mater Dei, did that ring a bell? Well, that's where Bryce Young went. So it's important that Coach Kalen DeBoer keeping those ties to California nice and tight. You're going to really like McDonald's highlight tape. Here he is playing corner at the top of your screen, and as you can see, he's a ball hawk. He's a playmaker, and he's somebody that is going to provide a playmaking ability on the defensive side of the ball. I think a lot of the times when we hear playmaker, you automatically think about the offensive side of the football, wide receiver or running back, but that could also be the case on the defensive side of the football. Here he is playing the inside corner position, making a play against a wide receiver out on the boundary. McDonald is a seasoned cornerback, and I think he provides a lot of versatility in terms of what he could do for Alabama. He's a really good open field tackler. He can play outside, inside. I wouldn't even be surprised if he plays safety. I think he's just that talented of a particular prospect. These California prospects coming to Alabama says a lot about Coach Kalen DeBoer and his overall philosophy. And I think with him coming in and getting a real idea of Coach Kalen DeBoer's overall offensive identity only continues to show us that Coach Kalen DeBoer is absolutely cooking when you look to the class of 2025. Now, recently, there was a graphic that circulated on social media, and it talked about the fact that it's going to be a cold summer in Tuscaloosa. Well, what does that mean? It can mean a variety of things. What it means to me is cold means good, and that things are going to start to really cool down for Alabama in a good way on the recruiting front. Think about it like this. Coach Kalen DeBoer now has 100% control of the program. He's in his home base. He's comfortable. So when you look to the prospects that he's recruited, they're from across the country, right? You got Derek Smith, who's right out of the state of Alabama. You got Keelan Russell, who jumped on from Texas. You got Anthony Turbo Rogers, who was at IMG, now back in Montgomery. So you can go across the country. And Coach Kalen DeBoer has really shrunken down the country in terms of his recruiting philosophy. He's gone to Los Angeles. This is basically Los Angeles, Santa Ana. He also has Abdul Sanders, right? He's from Los Angeles. So big prospects out of California. He's even went up into the northeast of the country, right? You have Latsier Brooks, who's from New Jersey. You have a prospect out of Maryland. But most importantly, he's also taking care of the state of Alabama, which is so important. That is something that Coach Saban did so incredibly well. And where are the 5 stars, you're asking? Well, the 5 stars, they are going to come. Just be patient. And I'm going to talk about the 5 stars at the back end of this video. But he's been able to take care of the in-state prospects, right? Anthony Rogers, he never wavered. He flips Antonio Coleman from Auburn to Alabama. You got Jaden Harmon out of Rome, Georgia, big-time baller. And as I mentioned earlier, Abdul Sanders from Los Angeles. So what he's done is he's gone across the board, and he's recruiting guys that are ultra-athletic. I kind of think of, you see Zamir Smith right here out of Maryland. But when you look to like a prospect, for example, such as Noah Carter, who's coming from Arizona and is now enrolled. That's what I'm talking about. Guys who are ultra athletic that can almost play both sides of the football. And I love that about Coach Kalen DeBoer's recruiting philosophy and what he's been able to do. Here you see Zamir Smith, Luke Metz, who was recently offered by Georgia. So whether it be taking care of his own backyard, going into Georgia, going to the Northeast, going to California, Coach Kalen DeBoer has went all over. He scoured the entire country for elite high school football talent, and that is something that he has brought to the University of Alabama. I want to hear from you. When you look to this overall class right now of 2025, and I'm telling you, the 5 stars are going to come, what do you think about this class of 2025 thus far? And by the way, Latsier Brooks, his message about wanting to step on everybody's neck when he gets here with Ryan Williams, that's a big-time statement from a big-time player at New Jersey. He scored 22 touchdowns, caught 22 touchdown passes. The guy's an absolute baller when you look to the class of 2025. And now that you have your quarterback on board, I'm telling you, with Keelan Russell, that's only going to add momentum to this class of 2025. I am just ultra impressed with what Coach Kalen DeBoer has done here. Let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how impressed have you been so far with Coach Kalen DeBoer? Sound off inside the comment box. Let's highlight Mo Lindquist for a second, all right? He's the current co-defensive coordinator / cornerbacks coach at the University of Alabama. Before that, he was coaching college football at Buffalo. And before that, he was coaching at the Dallas Cowboys, where he coached up Trayvon Diggs, right? He has an impressive resume. And when you get a sense of his overall intelligence and his energy, if you're a cornerback and you're young and you want to be developed to not only contribute at this level, but also on Sundays, Mo Lindquist is absolutely your guy. And I think when you look to what he's been able to do from the recruiting standpoint, man, Coach Kalen DeBoer has really loaded up his staff with these young, ultra intelligent, ultra aggressive guys who can recruit the country, right? Remember when people were coming in here and they were like, oh, Coach Kalen DeBoer, he's not going to be able to recruit the Southeast. He has done that. People were like, he can't recruit this place, that place. He has recruited the entire country, right? And the Alabama brand speaks for itself. By the way, I love this photo right here of Mo Lindquist and Chuck McDonald. These are a courtesy of Chuck McDonald's Instagram page, which you can go follow, and please support him. Please support all the athletes on social media. But Chuck McDonald is a big-time get for Alabama. Let me ask you this. I always like to do this inside the comment box. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, what do you think the impact overall of Chuck McDonald coming to Alabama is? Do you feel it's a 10? Do you feel like that's like a home run addition? Do you feel it's a 7? It's really good. Or do you feel you're a little bit underwhelmed? I better not see any underwhelmed, because this guy coming to Alabama, I think, speaks volumes. And then what also tells me a lot is that he canceled visits to Georgia, Oregon, USC. That is who Alabama is recruiting against right now. Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning, Lincoln Riley, right? Those guys are always going to recruit at a very high level. And look, when you're looking at your recruiting sites and you're looking at the recruiting rankings, don't get so caught up on where Alabama is at this point in time, because as you can see, this team is absolutely heating up, and I would expect more good news. You guys saw recently that Naheem Oford, who's out of the state of Alabama, is going to be here in Tuscaloosa, and things are starting to get hot with him. He's committed to Ohio State, but that's why I wanted to point out Mo Lindquist, okay? Because this guy is going to be an ace recruiter, right? He's already an ace coach, but he's an ace recruiter. Honestly, the best vibes when you're able to speak with him. We had an opportunity this spring, just class act all across the way. Same thing with Jamarcus Shepard on the other side of the ball. Same thing with Robert Gillespie, Freddie Roach, Colin Hitchler, Kane Womack, you name it. These guys got him. And then you have Dejon Lee, who is making his announcement at the end of the month between, again, as you see, USC, I think Texas A&M might be in there, Washington, Georgia. So again, Lincoln Riley, Kirby Smart. You're going up against those type of coaches, but Coach Kalen DeBoer has proven, not only on the field. Let me ask you a trivia question, okay? What is Coach Kalen DeBoer's record against Steve Sarkisian? What is it against Dan Lanning? What is it against Lincoln Riley? Sound off inside the comment box. Huge pickup for Alabama today. Drop me a like. I appreciate you guys. Huge pickup for the Alabama Crimson Tide.